Hey guys, here's a short video to help you remember how to write down all the things in the unit circle. You only need to memorize a couple of things. First thing you need to memorize is that a circle has 360 degrees and 2 pi radians. The other thing you need to memorize are the dimensions of two different triangles. First triangle is a 45, 45, 90 triangle with a hypotenuse of 1. For this triangle, the side lengths are going to be 1 over the square root of 2 and 1 over the square root of 2. So you have to memorize 1 over the square root of 2. The other thing you need to memorize is this. If you have a 30, 60, 90, and the hypotenuse is 1, then the short leg is 1/2. The longer leg is the square root of 3 over 2. So these guys will always be paired up together, and these guys will always be paired up together. So if you can remember those three things, angles in a degrees in a circle are 360, 2 pi radians, and if you could remember these two triangles, then you could memorize everything you need to know in the unit circle. So let's begin. Let's draw ourselves a circle. And we're going to divide this circle up into 0 and 360 degrees. Break that in half is 180. We're going to break 180 in half is 90, so we're going to count by 90s. 0 plus 90 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. 180 plus 90 is 270, and back around to 360. Now we're going to break this up further, and we're going to count by 45s. So 45 plus 45 is 90, plus 45 is 135, plus 45 is 180, plus 45 is 225, plus 45 is 270, plus 45 is going to be 315. Great. Now we're going to do the same thing in radians. Other thing you have to memorize is that a circle has 2 pi radians. 2 pi radians is the same thing as 360 degrees. So that means 180 degrees is pi radians. And we're going to break that pi in half. So pi halves, and then this is going to be 0 pi halves, 1 pi halves, 2 pi halves, and 3 pi halves. Okay, now let's break this into further divisions here. Let's break this into fourth pies. So halfway between 0 and 1/2 is a fourth, so this is pi fourths. Now we're going to count by fourths. So 1 pi fourths, 2 pi fourths, 3 pi fourths, 4 pi fourths, 5 pi fourths, 6 pi fourths, and 7 pi fourths. So now you have that all broken up into fourths, and you don't need to keep 4 pi fourths or 2 pi fourths. I'm just showing that you can count by fourths as you go around. Oop. And let's get rid of that guy. Okay, so you have it all in degrees, you have it all in radians. Now, remember those triangles you had to memorize? Let's use one of those triangles. This triangle right here is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And this length from here to here, the x value of that point, is going to be this length, and that side length is 1 over the square root of 2. And now for the y value is this. The y value is also 1 over the square root of 2. Now this triangle over here, you'll notice, has the same x value pretty much, except it's on the negative side of our number line. So this point right here, the coordinates of this are going to be negative 1 over the square root of 2, and then 1 over the square root of 2. It's going to have the same y value as this guy, same y value across. Okay, so really for all these, when you count by 45 degrees, it's just 1 over the square root of 2, 1 over the square root of 2. Let's just write that for all of them. 1 over the square root of 2, 1 over the square root of 2. But we have to keep track of which one's positive and negative. At this point, the x value is negative, but the y value is positive. At this point right here, the x value and the y value are both negative. And then at this point right here, the x value is positive, but the y value is negative. So positive, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, and positive, negative. Okay, so, and then let's fill in these guys. This point is 1, 0. This point is 0, 1. This point is negative 1, 0. This point is 0, negative 1. Okay, so you have all the angles, all the degrees, and you have the coordinates for each if you're counting by 45s. Okay, now we're going to count by 30s, and instead of writing all those angles on the same thing, just to give us some more space, I'm going to draw a new unit circle, though usually these are combined into one. So this unit circle right here, we're going to break this up into 30s. So we're going to count by 30s. So this is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, and this is going to be 360. Okay, so we broke it up into 30-degree chunks. Now let's do the same thing with pi, 0 and 2 pi. So this is going to be pi, and we're going to break pi into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So this is pi over 6. This is 2 pi over 6. This is 3 pi over 6. Let's see if I can. So this is 3 pi over 6. This is 4 pi over 6. This is 5 pi over 6. This would be 6 pi over 6. Then we've got 7 pi over 6. Then we've got 8 pi over 6. Then 9 pi over 6. 10 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6. Okay, now we just got to go back and simplify some of these fractions. 2 pi over 6 is the same thing as pi over 3. 3 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, that's the same thing as pi halves. 4 pi over 6, that's the same thing as 2 pi over 3. 6 pi over 6, we don't really need 6 pi over 6, let's get rid of that. 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6 is the same thing as 4 pi over 3. And let's get rid of that. 9 pi over 6, we can simplify. 9 pi over 6 is the same thing as 3 pi over 2. 10 pi over 6 is the same thing as 5 pi over 3. And then we've got 11 pi over 6, and we're good to go. Okay, now the other triangle you memorized is a 30, 60, 90. And it's a good thing you did, because you'll remember that the long side is the square root of 3. I'll try that again. The square root of 3 over 2, and the short side is a half. So the coordinates of this point are going to be square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. Now this next triangle right here, let's get rid of that. Oop. The next triangle right here is going to be this one. And if I draw this one right here, then the long side is the square root of 3 over 2, and the short side is a half. So this is going to be this is going to be short side is a half, that's the x value. The long side's the y value, and you've got that guy. Okay, now that same triangle is going to be over here, and so this point is going to be same x value as this one, except negative, and square root of 3 over 2 is the same y value. And then this one right here, this triangle and this triangle, let me switch colors. This triangle and this triangle are the same. So this is going to be square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. X value is negative. This one right here is going to be square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. This is going to be 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. This is going to be 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. And we've got square root of 3 over 2. And we've got 1/2. Okay, let me write that again. It's a little messy. This is the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Okay, now we got to figure out the signs. This guy is positive, positive. This guy is negative, positive. So negative, positive. This coordinate is negative, negative. So negative, 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 negative. This one is positive, negative. X value is positive. X value is positive. Y value is negative. And then these guys, we already had those before, but let's put them in again. This is 0, -1. This is -1, 0. This point right here is 0, 1. And finally, this point right here is going to be 1, 0. Okay, and as a final point, the first value right here, this is the cosine value. The second value is the sine value. So the way you'd use a unit circle is this. If someone asks you, what is the cosine of 120 degrees? This is 120 degrees. Cosine is the x value, that's -1/2. Or if someone says, what's the sine of 7 pi over 6? This is 7 pi over 6. The sine is the y value, so the sine of 7 pi over 6 is -1/2. Okay, hopefully that's helpful for you guys in completing your unit circle.